Hello, everybody, and welcome to my countdown of the top 5 restaurants at Walt Disney World, according to me. So, I went to Walt Disney World in April. I came back about 3 weeks ago. Unbelievably, it's been 3 weeks since I got back. The holiday flew by, and the time since we got back is flying by as well. Unbelievable that it's been 3 weeks, but it was one of the best holidays I've ever been on, as I expected it would be. First time we've ever been there. Everything was incredible. The theme parks, the Magic Kingdom, Animal Kingdom, Epcot, Hollywood Studios, all absolutely amazing. But another incredible factor of our holiday was the food. Obviously, the food at Disney World was absolutely incredible. We went to so many different restaurants whilst we were there, and I'm going to be counting down my top 5 restaurants from my time at Walt Disney World, Florida. So before we get into the top 5, just want to make a little bit of a disclaimer here. I've only been to Walt Disney World once, and we only went to each of these restaurants once as well. So obviously this is just my personal opinion. You may have a completely different opinion of these restaurants than I do. In fact, I actually have watched a few videos where people have discussed their favourite restaurants at Walt Disney World, and my number one restaurant, which I'll get into a bit later on, has actually been on lists of people's worst restaurant when they've been to Walt Disney World, which I am shocked by. So, experiences vary. You might have gone to these restaurants on a bad day. You might completely disagree with me. I'd love to know your thoughts with your comments in the section below. Also, before we get into the countdown, just a big thank you to everyone for watching my haul video, which I did about a month ago now. Incredible response to that. Obviously in that video I discussed all the things I bought at Walt Disney World. As you can see, hopefully you can see, I'm wearing one of my t-shirts now, one of my favourite purchases. Absolutely love this t-shirt, absolutely brilliant. Gonna be wearing. If I had my way, I'd wear a new Disney World t-shirt every single day. But I only bought like 3 when I was out there. One day, the dream is to have a wardrobe filled with Disney clothes, like shirts, polos, t-shirts, the lot. I'd love it all. One day, I would definitely love it all. Big thank you to everyone for watching my haul video. Really appreciate your nice comments and for subscribing and things like that. Hopefully, in the future, I'll buy more Disney things so I can do another one, but we wait and see. Right, so let's get into my top 5 restaurants from my time at Walt Disney World, Florida. At number 5 is Tusker House, which is a buffet style restaurant which is located in the Animal Kingdom. It's just down, I'm saying just down the road, but it's just down the walkway from the Festival of the Lion King. And we went to this restaurant on I think it's our second visit to the Animal Kingdom. It was a really, really hot, humid day, and we were struggling by this point. So we went there for lunch. We'd sort of starved ourselves. I know it's pretty much impossible to starve yourself at Disney World because there's food everywhere. But we managed to starve ourselves before we went to Tusker House, and it's a good thing we did because I ate so much food. So to go to Tusker House, it's one of your table service credits if you've got the Disney dining plan, which we used, and that entitles you to anything in the buffet and the desserts as well. So it's all you can eat. You can eat as much as you like, and of course you get refillable drinks if you get a soft drink or things like that. As long as it's not alcoholic, you get a free refill. So why did I like Tusker House so much? Well, firstly, it looked absolutely incredible inside. It reminded me, I've never been to Morocco, so I don't know why I'm using this as a comparison, but it made me think of like a Moroccan marketplace, really. It was really well designed. Like, you go inside, and when you go inside, it's like you're outside, looking at the outside of these buildings. So there's a central bit where you get all the food, and then there's smaller rooms dotted around where all the tables are. So we were located just to the right of the main room. We had easy access to the food, which was fantastic. And there was loads of maps on the walls. It was just really cool. There's loads of things to look at. It was just incredibly well designed. Like all the restaurants in Disney, it was just a pleasure to look around and just take in all the attention to detail which Disney do. That was incredible. Another benefit of this restaurant is that you get Explorer Donald and his friends all walking around. So we got to meet Donald, Daisy, Mickey, Goofy, the whole lot. and there was a constant flow of characters coming in. As soon as we sat down, Donald came over, then we had Goofy straight away, we had Daisy come in very quickly as well, and they all spent a lot of time with us as well, which is really cool. So really enjoyed that factor of it, and of course they're all wearing their Explorer outfits with their hat and their jackets, and I think Mickey had some binoculars as well, which was cool. So really enjoyed that factor. So in terms of the food, the problem I have with buffets sometimes is that I don't pace myself enough. I know you're supposed to have a starter, then a main and a dessert, but I tend to just go straight to the main food and just shovel loads of random bits of food on my plate. I don't make it a proper meal. I just shovel it all on, scoff it down, and I'm stuffed within about 10 minutes of being there. I tried to pace myself a little bit with this restaurant because I knew from previous experiences that I wanted to properly enjoy and properly take in the food. So I had a various variety of different foods there. The one thing I absolutely loved was all the breads. They had pita bread, they had, I'm probably saying this completely wrong, focaccia bread I think it was. They had cornbread, which had jalapenos on it. I had a whole course that was just bread on a plate, and I could have eaten that whole tray of pita bread. It was absolutely gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. So that was one amazing factor. The food was great as well. There's a lot of curries and spicy foods and meats and things like that, which I love. I love spicy and hot foods. I had vegetable tofu to start with, which is not something I'd usually go for, but I really enjoyed that. Had a bit of a spicy kick to it, which was really nice. I also had the spit roast chicken, which was lovely. A proper big bit of chicken as well, which completely bloated me out. Lots of rice when I was there, lots of veg as well. So it was a really, really great food. Great atmosphere in there. Just a great buzz about the place as well. It's such a prime location in the Animal Kingdom as well. And that's before I even mentioned the desserts, which were incredible. There was flourless cakes, there was cookies, there was little sponges. It was incredible. It's very rare that I struggle to finish food and I struggle to have desserts, but I piled loads of cakes onto my plate and I could not eat them all. I had like 3 or 4 of them, a couple of cookies and some of the little slices of chocolate cake, and I loved them so much, and I actually felt really sad that I couldn't finish them. I did feel very ill for the rest of the day because I ate so much, but it was completely worth it because it was such a great experience. So number 5 is the Tusker House, which you can find in the Animal Kingdom. Right, so at number 4, my top 5 restaurants from my time at Walt Disney World, Florida, is Sana, which is located at the Disney Animal Kingdom Villas and Lodge. So for those of you who don't know, this is based at one of the hotels, one of the premium hotels at Disney World, where they have a little section in a large section in the middle where they have a lot of exotic wildlife such as giraffe and buffalo and creatures like that. It's a fantastic hotel. One day I would love to stay in there. Imagine waking up, opening your balcony or your window, your door, and seeing all these animals. Incredible. So Sana is one of the restaurants located at this hotel, and it was an absolutely stunning experience. It was one of the last restaurants we went to, actually. We went there on our penultimate day and we had lunch there. So basically it's an interesting mix. They had Indian food mixed with African cuisine, and it worked really well. Our server was really good, and we went actually at a good time because it was very empty, very quiet, so we got our food pretty quickly. It cost 1 table service credit, which was good as well, and included in that credit you got 1 entree and 1 dessert as well. As usual, that's a common thing with the restaurants at Disney. You get a main and a dessert and a drink, which is refillable if you get a soft drink. But we were sort of really sold by our server. He was really helpful, but he told us that we have to have the bread that they have as a starter, which is called the Indian style bread service, I think it was called, which was a massive platter of loads of different types of bread. There was garlic infused bread, there was ones with tomatoes in, just pita bread. As you know by now, I'm a massive fan of bread, so this was a no-brainer. So we actually did pay a bit extra to have this, and I'm so glad we did because it was so nice. I can't emphasise to you how much I love bread and how much that bread was just magical. I absolutely loved it. It was brilliant. So we had that as a starter. Oh, I haven't actually said, a good thing about this restaurant as well There's loads of large windows around the edge of it where you can see out into the nature reserve in the centre, so you can see the giraffes, the buffaloes, the animals like that. So that's a really nice feature. And the decor, once again, incredible. It's like you're sitting under a tree in Africa, because they had it wasn't a fake tree, but the roof was designed to look like loads of leaves, and there was like a central bark, a fake bark in the middle. So it was like you're sitting under a tree, and the attention to detail on the leaves and the tables and the chairs. I'm going to start repeating myself here, but the restaurants in Disney, all of them were incredible, all the designs, but this was one of the best ones, the attention to detail. And considering this is a restaurant at a hotel rather than one in the actual parks, just makes it even better. So that was another fantastic factor. So for Maine, as I said, it's a mix between Indian and African food, but I found it was more an Indian style restaurant, which I'm fine because I love Indian food. And I had something, and we actually all had this. It was recommended to us by our server. I'm going to have to read the name of it because there's no way I'm going to pronounce it or remember it correctly. It's called the Poege Inspired. And you could choose from 3 different options, and they came in little dishes. So it was little dishes of the mains, if that makes sense, in one. So you've got 3 in one, basically. So there's a huge variety of what you could choose from, but the 3 I had was the butter chicken, the braised beef, and the coconut milk soaked vegetables. And as delicious as that sounds, I can confirm it was incredible, one of the best meals I had in Disney. The butter chicken was unbelievable, the sauce it was in, it was just so tender. The beef was really nice as well, and the vegetables were great, and the rice, once again, brilliant. But that butter chicken, if you go to Sana, you need to have the butter chicken. It was just it's a lovely day. It was a beautiful day outside. The animals are outside. The food was great. It wasn't that busy in there. We got served really quickly. It was just nice and chilled. It was a nice way to almost end our dining experience at Disney World, and that's why it's at number 4. I should quickly say the dessert I had was the triple chocolate mousse, which had a chocolate biscuit on it. Anything chocolate's just great, as you all probably know. So it was incredible. It was yummy. It exploded us. I felt ill for the rest of the day again. And let me tell you, don't go to Sana if you're planning on doing the Kilimanjaro safaris later on in the day, because believe me, you'll feel very ill. That's a very rocky safari. And if you filled with butter, chicken, bread and chocolate mousse, you're going to feel very ill, as I did. So that wasn't a great decision, but I don't regret going because the food was absolutely incredible, and that's my number 4. So at number 3 of my top restaurants from my time at Walt Disney World, Florida is Tapani Do, which is located in the Japanese part of the world, showcased in Epcot. So this was a restaurant that me and my girlfriend Sherry went to on our own, and it was an absolutely incredible experience. It's part meal but also part show. It embraces the Japanese style of cuisine called teppanyaki, which I don't know the exact definition for, but if I described to you what the restaurant and the experience was like, then maybe that will give you a better idea of what teppanyaki food is. Basically, you go into the restaurant, you're sat around a massive hot plate, and the chef will cook the food you want right in front of you. And obviously they make it fun. They play with the food, they throw up in the air, they've got the utensils they're tapping everywhere. What an experience it was. So we sat down. The staff in this restaurant are all incredibly friendly. Some of the best. Everyone was nice at Disney, but they really made us feel welcome, and they were just so lovely, everyone who worked in this restaurant. So we sat down, the 2 of us. We chose the meal we wanted, and then they went away, and then the chef came out with their tray full of the meat and the utensils. They turned on the massive hot plate, and they started off by drawing Mickey with the oil. We had a really nice chef. She obviously loved what she was doing. She made an effort to talk to everyone, and she was so upbeat and happy and just full of life. She ordered the hot plate, and then she cooked each meal, not one by one, but depending on what meat you had. So I had the beef, and my girlfriend had the chicken. So the good thing about this restaurant as well was that we were in there for quite a long time. We were in there for over an hour, which is actually quite a long time for a Disney restaurant. Our previous experience of the restaurants, the other ones we went to, is that they didn't ever rush you out, but the meals always came out very quickly. So on average, we probably spent about 45 minutes in each restaurant we went to. But this one we got the full experience. They're over an hour, and we were sat with a really nice American family as well. So we got chatting to them. They told us that they come to Disney quite a lot, and they always come to Tapani Do because it's such a fantastic restaurant. I really do envy you Americans, where you can just hop on the plane and you're in Disney in a couple of hours, or pop in the car and you're there in a couple of hours. Really do envy you. But menu was really nice. The noodles were delicious. As I said, they make it a bit of a show. So the highlight was when she cut the onion up and she made it into a little mountain, and then obviously the steam from the hot plate was coming up and it made it look like a volcano, so an onion volcano. That was cool. It's just such a joyous place full of laughter and fun and talk and chatter. It's just really, really nice. Great food as well. Absolutely delicious. Really unique experience. The only negative is that I did get my cold halfway through. Well, I was getting a cold anyway, but after I had the main course, I then suddenly started feeling quite ill, just cold-wise, so sinuses, and felt all chesty, got a cough and things like that. So when we had the dessert, I had the ginger cake dessert, and I'm sure it was really nice, but I couldn't tell you for definite because I didn't actually taste it, because my nose was so blocked and my sinuses were so congested. I couldn't taste it, so I assume it was nice, but luckily I tasted the main, which was lovely. It'll cost you one of your table service meals, and I would highly recommend you go there if you go to Disney World Florida and you visit Epcot. Such a unique experience, you won't be disappointed. Number 3 is Tapani Do in the Japanese part of the World Showcase in Epcot. We're getting ever nearer to number 1. Number 2 on my list of the top 5 best restaurants in Walt Disney World Florida is Cinderella's Royal Table, and not Cinderella's Round Table, which I said incorrectly in my haul video. To give you an idea of where it's located, you can't miss it because it's actually located in Cinderella's castle, of course, in the middle of the Magic Kingdom. The main centerpiece, her castle. You go in the middle, you go in the restaurant, and before you actually go up and eat, you meet Cinderella. You queue around to meet her, then you go up a spiral staircase, and the restaurant overlooks the Magic Kingdom and Fantasyland, and it's just beautiful. It's like you're inside a real castle. Of course, you know that Cinderella's castle is a real castle, but it looks so authentic. There's tapestries on the wall. All the servers are dressed up like proper servants within a castle. It was great, and our server was a guy called Don. I remember his name because Don is a fantastic name. Come on. He was absolutely brilliant. He was really, really nice, really friendly, and it was actually my girlfriend's sister's birthday when we went, and she obviously had the badge on and the sash that said it was her birthday. So he actually sang happy birthday and did a little dance for her as well, which was quite something to behold. And of course, she got the card. So big draw of this restaurant is that you get loads of princesses coming around. It's character dining. We had Cinderella, obviously, Snow White, Belle, and loads of other princesses as well, which was really, really cool. Food, absolutely incredible. I had the pork, which was absolutely divine. We all had the Clock Strikes 12 dessert, which was, you guessed it, it was amazing. It was a chocolate mousse, but the highlight of it was that there was like a chocolatey, it wasn't really a biscuit, but amazing, a chocolate circle which had a clock face on, and it was pointed at 12 o'clock. Marvellous, beautiful, delicious, lovely atmosphere, lovely view of the Fantasyland out the window, great decor, princesses walking around, character dining at its best, amazing food. What more could you ask for? The only downside is that you do actually have to use 2 of your table service credits to get into Cinderella's Royal Table, but it's worth it because the food, the staff, the characters, it's all incredible, and you know you're located in her castle. What more could you ask for? So it's worth the 2 credits. If you want a proper, full, amazing Disney experience, you must go to this restaurant, because what's better than actually eating food within Cinderella's castle itself? Come on, what's better than that? Well, I'll tell you what's better than that when we go on to what my number 1 restaurant is from Walt Disney World. So here we are. We're at number 1, my favourite restaurant from my time at Walt Disney World, Florida. And I cannot emphasise enough, this restaurant is leaps and bounds, heads and heads above all the other restaurants we went to. And We had a few bad experiences, only about 2, but out of all the amazing experiences, the ones I've spoken about, this one was so far ahead because it was just in a league of its own. That restaurant is Yak and Yeti, which is located at the Animal Kingdom in the Asia section. Where do I start at this restaurant? I think I should start by saying I did watch a video recently where a very well-known Disney vlogger and blogger said that it was one of his least favourite restaurants at Disney World, and I have no idea why. The food, the decor, the staff, the dessert, the drinks, the layout, the architecture, it was unbelievable. It was absolutely stunning. What made it so good was my main course, and I had the tikka masala, which, just thinking about it now, is making me hungry. It was one of the best tikka masalas I have ever had, and that was just made even better by the fact that my pudding, which was a hot chocolate pudding cake, was one of the best chocolate pudding cakes I've ever had either. It wasn't just me. Everyone in my party agreed it was one of the best restaurants we have been to. It's Asian, obviously it's in the Asia part of the Animal Kingdom, so it's Asian-inspired cuisine, Nepalesian cuisine, very cool statues, like very similar to Tusker House in how it was designed inside. But it was just so nice. We were upstairs with a great view of the restaurant. It was nice and cool. There was a lovely evening emerging outside because we went there for dinner. But it was absolutely fantastic. I mean, there was no characters. There was no like special gimmicky things like a sword or a wand. It was just an absolutely stunning meal. Server was great, staff friendly, main, dessert, all incredible. And I did not have a better experience in Disney. The ones I've said were great. This just topped it off, and it was actually one of the first restaurants we went to. It was our second day when we went to the Animal Kingdom and had this meal, and nothing topped it. None of the other restaurants we went to, none of the signature ones or unique dining experiences came close. So that is my number 1. I'd absolutely love to hear your thoughts on what your favourite restaurants are from Walt Disney World, Florida. Do you agree with my list? Do you disagree? Do you think I'm crazy for liking Yak and Yeti? Do you think I'm insane for not putting other restaurants at number 1? I'd love to know your thoughts in the comments below, and I'd love to have a conversation with you, and I'd love to know your thoughts. Obviously, as I've said, I've only been to these restaurants once, so I could have been going to them on a very good day. You know, people might say they're terrible usually. I might have gone on a really good day. But it's just my personal opinion, but I'd love to hear your thoughts as well. So before I end this video, I'm going to bring Judy in. Before I end this video, I just want to give some shout outs to some other really good restaurants we went to that just missed out on the top 5. So the first one is the Be Our Guest restaurant in the Magic Kingdom. I'm guessing people will be surprised that this wasn't in my top 5. Obviously, a Beauty and the Beast live action version coming out recently, and just how grand it is. Great food, great decor. I mean, it was stunning. We were sat in the ballroom and it was absolutely amazing seeing the snowfall outside and seeing beasts walk through. But you know, it was good, but the service was a bit slow, and the food, though delicious, wasn't anything special, and the dessert was a bit disappointing as well. But I mean, it was a great experience. We all had a fantastic time, but because of those reasons, it missed out on being in the top 5. And 2 other restaurants I have to mention, which were great experiences but didn't make my top 5. The Coral Reef restaurant in Epcot. That was a great experience. Food was really nice. The big thing about restaurant is that there's a huge fish tank there. You can watch all the sea life swimming around, and when we were there were divers floating around as well, which is quite interesting. That was really nice. A lovely experience there, but just didn't get into the top 5 because those other restaurants were so good. And finally, and this one very narrowly missed out, the Sci-Fi restaurant in the Hollywood Studios. So what made it so good? The food was nice. Yes, the food was really good, but what made it incredible was the design. You're sitting in a car. You sit in a car as if you're in a 1960s drive-in movie. There's a massive screen in front of you, and it's just playing clips from really old, stupid horror films. I was sat in a car eating a burger in a drive-in, and it was unbelievable. I was like, what am I doing here? This is just so cool. The only thing that was a bit not so good, the dessert wasn't great at all. I had a sundae and it was all melted, and it obviously been hanging around for a while, but the burger I had was really nice, and that was really cool. So definitely try the Sci-Fi restaurant, because just seeing it and sitting in a car is just brilliant. So there are some shout outs as well, some restaurants you should also check out. So let me know your thoughts. Put your comments in the comment section below. Do you agree with my list? Do you disagree? Do you think I'm crazy? Do you think I'm a legend? Do you love Judy? Because Judy Hopps is so cute. Love Judy. Do you like my t-shirt? I'd love to hear from you. So let me know. Don't forget to subscribe to me. I'll be uploading some more videos in the near future. Really appreciate you watching this video. Thank you so much. Bye-bye. It's a buffet style restaurant, which is... Sounds like I'm letting off wind, doesn't it?